Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I call to order the Wycliffe City Council meeting of September 26, 2022. Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Here.
Gerhardstein.
Here.
Jaworski.
Excused.
Kosky.
Here.
Levon.
Here.
Saloto.
Here.
Thielman.
I'm going to make a motion to, I move that we move up resolution 2022-16 up to right now.
Second.
Moved by Council President Levon, second by Councilman Gerhardstein to move resolution 2022-16 to the third item on the agenda. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kosky.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Resolution number 2022-16, a resolution recognizing Joseph R. Thompson on his retirement from the Police Department of the City of Wickliffe, Ohio, commending him for his dedicated service and wishing him good fortune in declaring an emergency.
Suspension. Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Kosky, second by Councilwoman Saloto to suspend the rules of council and place resolution 2022-16 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kosky.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes. Adoption.
Second.
Do you want to give me the option? Or? Okay. Moved by Councilwoman Kosky, seconded by Councilman Gerhardstein to adopt resolution 2022-16 as presented. Discussion? Okay, Councilman Gerhardstein.
Well, I've known Joe for a long time. Joe's sitting in the back row. Anybody that doesn't know Lieutenant Thompson, he's sitting in the back row with his wife, Kim. I've known Joe for plenty of years. Joe, thank you for all the years of service for the city. You've gone above and beyond what anybody could expect in the city of Wycliffe.
Mayor?
Yeah, I would just want to reiterate that, Joe, so happy that you're a part of the city. You are a very intelligent man that solved a lot of problems for us, and you take on a lot of roles when you were here. So thank you, I'm going to miss you, and I will see you again, so. Thank you.
Councilwoman Saloto?
I too would like to thank you. I think you have been an amazing influence on the city. You've been here for so long and done such a wonderful job. And I personally appreciate a lot of the things that you've done for us. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a wild and wonderful retirement, because you're way too young to retire. So you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you personally for all the work and all the years of service that you get brought into the city, not only in the police work, but your IT work as well. It's been very beneficial for council, for administration, for everybody in the city. Councilman Bala.
Same here. You know, years of service. We thank you so much, and just please enjoy. Please enjoy your retirement.
Councilwoman Kosky.
Yes. Thank you for your IT help that a few of us have needed on occasion. And I've enjoyed seeing you throughout the years at different events, and it's been nice to have you, just be a part of the city and know that there's someone reliable, and, it's nice to see familiar faces.
Any further discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kosky.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Now the law director will read the entire resolution.
And Joe, my wishes as well too. Congratulations on your retirement. My whole career as prosecutor, I've worked with you hand in hand at the police department. You're going to be sorely missed, and I'm glad you're not going for good. But I could still call you and talk to you, but congratulations and thank you for everything for the city. Whereas Joseph Thompson has served as a police officer for over 34 years, taking the oath of office as a patrolman for the Wycliffe Police Department on February 13th, 1988. And whereas Patrolman Thompson was promoted to sergeant on September 11, 2000, and then to lieutenant on February 10, 2014. Whereas during his career, Lieutenant Thompson received numerous commendations and letters of appreciation for his dedication to service and professional demeanor. Whereas in 1989, Patrolman Thompson was recognized as Employee of the Month for his actions at the scene of a medical emergency, providing CPR to a man who had suffered a heart attack. And whereas in 1992, Patrolman Thompson was recognized as Employee of the Month for his investigative skills at the scene of a house burglary. He lifted latent fingerprints from the scene and was able to match those prints to a suspect who was charged with the burglary. And whereas in 2011, Sergeant Thompson was recognized for his exceptional performance during a bank robbery investigation and high-speed vehicle pursuit, which led to the arrest of a habitual bank robber. And whereas Joe supported many community events and participated in home days, Mount Carmel festivals, bike rodeos, block watch events, Special Olympics torch runs, the Fest, plus many others. And whereas during his career, Joe was involved in nearly all functions of the police department: patrolman, sergeant, lieutenant, motorcycle officer, firearms instructor, driving instructor, the 4th platoon, and staff administrator in charge of our computer network. And whereas upon retirement, Joe will have more time to spend with his wife Kim, son Charlie and his wife Molly, and their daughter Haley, and a grandson due in November, and his son Christopher. And whereas Joe has agreed to return to the Wycliffe Police Department part-time as a special police officer with primary responsibilities of managing IT issues for the city. Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Sandy, can you mark Councilman Thielman excused now? He just had a family emergency. He just texted me. Thank you. Approval of council minutes. We need to entertain a motion to allow me to abstain from the minutes of last meeting. Councilman Gerritstein.
I make a motion that Council President Levon be abstained from voting for the council minutes on 9/12/2022.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerritstein, seconded by Councilman Ballard to allow Council President Levon to abstain from voting on the meeting minutes of September 12, 2022. Discussion? Cindy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Okay.
They make a motion, we approve the council minutes from 9/12/2022.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerritstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto, that the council meeting minutes of September 12, 2022 be approved as presented. Discussion? Cindy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Saloto.
Yes.
Levon.
Abstain.
Oh, there it is.
Reports and communications from the Mayor, Safety Director.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. First, you'll notice on some of tonight's legislation, don't let any of it confuse you. Service Director Strauser will explain some of it when it gets to that portion or when he gives his report. Live stream, we're live now. And residents can find this video in a couple different places. If you go on YouTube and you put Wycliffe, City of Wycliffe Council meetings, you'll see a subscribe button. Hit that and that'll let you know when the meetings come on. And then after, you can see it on the council, on the city website and also on board docs. So we got a small group working on the website and they've been meeting with various vendors. They hope to bring it to council before the end of the year. So I would like to ask that this topic be put into the appropriate committee for discussion. And then I continue to meet with businesses and contractors to further economic development in our city weekly. Leaf pickup will begin soon. I'm sure he will, Service Director Strauser will mention that in his report. The Chamber of Commerce is doing an introduction to the Chamber for Wickliffe businesses at the library on Tuesday. So if you know any small businesses or businesses in Wickliffe that want to attend, it's at the public library, October 4th from 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. I will be in attendance as well. And the businesses are encouraged to RSVP the Chamber. And lastly, we had an awesome meeting with this week regarding the Wycliffe script sign. We will have a really cool script sign that says Wycliffe, like the one in Edgewater. We commissioned Auburn Career Center, and their welding class is gonna do this. We pay for materials only, and that will include delivery, installation, painting, all that stuff. It's gonna be about 16 feet long, and it's gonna go over by the Lloyd Road exit, which by Luberzall, which is nice, because right now there's just that little puny sign, and we have everybody coming in, a lot of thousands of cars come to that exit into our city. Let's give them something to be proud of. So that is all I have.
Okay, we will move or add city website to the committee of the whole. Any questions or comments for the mayor, safety director? Thank you, Mayor. Reports and communications from the director of law.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I do not have any report this evening.
Any questions or comments for the law director? Thank you, Scott. Communications from council president. We all should have received an email from the Parks and Rec Commission, the recommendation letter. So I will put that into the Parks and Properties Committee. So we'll call that Parks and Rec Commission recommendation letter. Amendments or additions to the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to administrators. Police Chief Ice.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have anything to add to my monthly report this evening.
Any questions or comments for the police chief? Thank you, Chief Ice. Fire Chief Powers.
Thank you, Council President. I have nothing to add either.
Any questions or comments for the fire chief? Councilwoman Koski.
Just looking at your report, I don't know, could you maybe put, like, last year, because like you say, like, August, year-to-date, like, how do we compare to last year with some of the
Sure, we can do that.
stuff? I mean, like, maybe like a total at the bottom, maybe not each category or something, just, you know, are we doing the same as last year, better than last year?
Actually, right now, we're 200 over last year.
200 runs?
200
or-
incidents over last year
Okay,
at this point. So we're on track to do probably 3,000 calls this year.
wow,
Yeah, it comes down to the nursing homes can't get private ambulances to do what you would call the non-emergency transports. So then it becomes an emergent transport,
okay,
just because they're waiting and waiting, and sometimes there's no shows. And that has impact on us. And the private ambulance just can't get workers.
wow.
So it's impacting us still,
Okay.
as well as everybody else. Everyone else is having the same problems in all the industries, so it obviously affects us here at the city.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the fire chief? Thank you, Chief Powers. Finance Director Doles.
Thank you, Council President. I don't have anything to add to my monthly report, except the fact that our financial position is basically the same right now as it was at the end of August, so.
Any questions, Councilman Bella?
With more people working from home, are we seeing a little, a downtrend? A lot of Luberzall people were, working from home. Are they gonna file their taxes that way, or are they gonna still have to do it through the city?
I know the law is that they have to file where they work. So there has been a little bit of with some of our employers, a little bit of lag between this year's collections and last year's, but not enough at this point to be alarming. But as I have said in the past, that the COVID situation is not come to total fruition yet as far as collections of taxes. It's starting to trend a little slow right now, but hopefully not too slow.
Okay, thanks.
Any further questions or comments for the Finance Director? Thank you, Deb. Engineer Formica.
Thank you, Council President. I have nothing to add to my written report.
Any questions or comments for the city engineer? Thank you, Pete. Service Director Strauser.
Thank you, Council President. I do have some things, as the mayor wanted me to mention. We are gonna be starting our leaf pickup October 17th, which is like a week earlier than normal. And we are gonna be doing many more rounds this year throughout the city than we have in the past couple of years with the previous mayor. He's stressed to me that he wants to make sure all the leaves get picked up, and we're gonna do our best and have a couple extra crews here and there out during the heavy season. As far as other things, Sherbrooke, rehabbing, the work on Sherbrooke is progressing along very well. Had been very few incidents with the residents and things like that, and they're, you know, people are out of their driveways and their aprons, you know, over the week, and everybody's been very cooperative, and it's going very well. Warden Road Bridge progress is a little bit behind. I just talked to the guy who runs the show over there, and he's expecting them not to be done until probably mid-November now, which originally, I do believe that the mayor was saying out there that it was gonna begin in October. Just because of the weather and the forecast here in the next couple of weeks is not looking good, so they're looking more towards the end of November. He said they actually are gonna do some work over the winter as well. He wanted to know if he could have some the lane closures in the winter, and Pete and I absolutely, we are gonna do our best to not make that happen. I need that open so we can plow through there and have, you know, safe traffic through there throughout the winter. So we're not gonna let that happen if we have any say in it. Lastly, I have, is the Jindra walking path. So tonight on the agenda, as you know, there's a reappropriation reading that's on the second reading. If you guys, I believe that you're gonna need to vote that down if you wanna do the Jindra walking path. The Jindra walking path ordinance is a little further down, and that's passed as an emergency. You can't have two different appropriation, on the same time. You can't have two separate appropriations. So if you guys are for doing the Jindra walking path, then you need to probably vote the first one down and then appropriate the emergency one. So the numbers did come in. I don't know if you guys all read them or not, but the original, as you all know, the original Jindra walking path to do in asphalt was $297,000 was the original bid. We went back and I did ask council last meeting that to go in the vicinity of like $125,000, $130,000. But after Pete and I talked, we decided to include, that was gonna be for only the walking path part of it, the circular part, because the original project included all the way over to Talmadge and all the way over to the creative area, and so we decided to include all that. Pete felt more comfortable that we put some fabric underneath the concrete, and that added a little bit to the cost. So the cost just for the construction is $124,000, and then $46,000 for the cost of concrete. Now, I will say this very much, so Jab Supply stepped to the plate big time for this project. His normal price, this is at least probably $15,000 to $20,000 cheaper than his normal rate for concrete. And he's basically doing it at cost because, you know, he's here in the city, he wants to promote the city's, you know, growth and stuff like that. And I know the mayor approached him about it and said, you know, hey, what can you do for us? And so they did come in at $46,200. That's pretty cheap for right now for concrete. Cashin's charging about $250 a yard. This is like $167. Comes out to be somewhere in that range. And Jab Supply is normally $220, $230 a yard. And also Mingle Construction. So Mingle Construction is, they're a very small company. They're trying to get their feet wet and do some bigger jobs and things like that. And they came in, they stepped to the plate as well too. I mean, you know, this project now, the whole total project's $170,000. And it's gonna all be done in 4 inches of concrete compared to $297,000 in asphalt before. So I do think that, you know, we did our very best to make, if you guys wanna make this project happen, I don't think you're gonna get any better pricing, but I'm not trying to sway anybody into voting yes or no. You know, you guys decide what you want, yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. So, not only that, there's only 5 of you here, so you got all of them. Yeah, so that's why the two different agendas were on that for tonight, for the appropriations amounts. And if you have any other questions, you know, ask me in February or whatever, I don't know.
Ron, on Fairway, are we gonna do the seal coating on that, this week or next week?
The next nice day, after the rain today, that's what they were waiting for, was a nice big rain like that. Actually, I talked to Bo, the guy who works for CT, and he said that he was in contact with them today, and the very next nice day, they're gonna try and get out there.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Garrett's thing?
That was one of my questions. The second one, I just want to make a note, that Mango Construction, that's also a small Wickliffe business also.
They are very small.
I know, but they're another Wickliffe company, so it's glad to see.
Yeah. So, I know. Yeah.
Councilwoman Koski?
Yeah, thank you. So it's one or the other? No.
For the ordinances.
Contract A is the construction part of
H,
it.
no, H and I on there. on our agenda?
Yeah, well, first we're gonna talk about that during new business.
Yeah, I can-
Contract A and B, we'll vote on. And then we would have to, the ordinance is 44 would be voted down if we vote for,
Oh, up
park?
there,
and 52 would be what we vote for.
Correct.
52. Oh, I'm looking at 53 and 54. All right, I'm not confused.
Law Director?
Yeah, Councilperson Acosta, if we do decide to go through with the Jindras, then
Yes,
ordinance number 44, which is gonna be the second ordinance read tonight, that's the current appropriations, that's on second reading. That one will have to be voted down to
Okay.
proceed with the other appropriations, so that,
okay.
someone will have to call for suspension, and then it will have to be
Even though it's on second read?
right, because when it needs to be voted down tonight, so it has to be suspended,
Okay,
and then called for approval and voted no on by council, then we can proceed to pass the emergency. If it is decided in new business not to proceed with Jindra Walking Park, then that'll stay on second reading tonight, and that emergency ordinance number 52, that would be voted down by council.
okay.
If that clarifies it.
Mayor?
Yes, I just want to elaborate a little on this. A couple of years ago, that was estimated, that path, at 90,000, and then they come back this year at 297,000 for asphalt, which is just crazy. I get costs go up, but that much just showed me they don't want to do it. So a Wickliffe business, which he said, came to the plate big time. You know, they know that we get some grief sometimes over jab and some of the things that happen, but they are good for the community when they we need a street sweeper or something. They really try to show that they want to be here and want to help as much as they can. And then a conversation at a volleyball game led me to meet the guy with Mingle who couldn't believe the prices we were getting. So a Wickliffe resident who loves going to Jindra and said it would look so much better in concrete. So the match was made. They met Ron and Pete, and this is all hopefully going to be possible. But just Wycliffe people stepping up, and I just want to thank them. Mango and Jad really came to help us out. So.
Councilman Bell?
Thanks. Ron, on the path, and it's a walking path, it seems like that our service vehicles are always on the outside of that path. You know, I wish that path was a little bit wider, so we
It's
get,
gonna be.
it's gonna be, so we,
It's gonna be 7 feet wide, so we didn't wanna make it look like it was a road. We did not make it look like it's a road, so our pickup trucks, so we actually we measured our wheelbases on our pickup truck and everything, and they're gonna have to still be total line, because I don't wanna make it look like, you know, like, but when we're servicing the ball fields and picking up garbage, the only way that we can do it, unless I go get gators and whatever else, and we have to be able to drive our vehicles through that park. And that's definitely why a lot of that on the edges got beat up like it did, because it wasn't wide enough. So,
And we beefed up the section with the fabric and the stone underneath, so.
yeah, so it will be a little heavier duty for our trucks. We won't have anything bigger than pickups in there. Well, I mean, I had my wheel loaders in there the other day, loading ball diamond dirt, you know, so what are we gonna do? So it is what it is.
we got dually on some backs, so it's good.
What's that?
You got some dualies on the back, so you usually have to
Yeah,
go around,
right.
so it's
Good.
good. All right, thanks.
Any further questions or comments from the service director? Thanks, Rob. Building Commissioner Sack.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I have nothing to add in my monthly report.
Any questions or comments from the building commissioner? Councilman Garrettstein.
Ray, is the land bank still on target for the Provo House coming down?
I believe, Ron, you know what the date is on it?
Yes, so it's still on schedule for the 10th. We actually been working over there, we've been helping the leagues and everybody move out. There's been a lot, there's 30 years of accumulation in there, and the service department's actually been going through, throwing a bunch of the stuff away for them and helping them out. Mr. and Mrs. Alfaldish were over there, and we helped them out with some of the stuff. We're gonna store a few things here. I think I did tell everybody, but the baseball leagues are gonna split the basement of the football shack. We actually went down there, we cleaned the whole basement out, we painted the whole basement for them. They're putting up shelving and stuff like that, so they're in the process of moving right now. So the footballs will have upstairs, and half the boys league and the girls fast pitch will have half, split the basement in half, and that's the best we can do. We're gonna store a little bit of their overflow down at our service garage.
Any further questions or comments for the service director? Or building commissioner, sorry.
Can I make one more comment?
Absolutely, Councilman Garrettstein.
Ray, I'd like to thank you for your effort with John Rogers from the land bank to make that happen. I mean, I know I know that you had a lot to do with that, and I want to thank you for the help.
Thank you.
If there's no other questions or comments, Building Commissioner, we'll move on to the Recreation Director. Stop.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just one comment. While I don't want to tell you how to vote on November 8th, I would like to let you know that there is an all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast at our senior center on October 9th, supporting the senior levy. Wickliffe is hosting it in conjunction with the rest of the senior centers in Lake County. So on Sunday, October 9th at our community center for $10, adults can eat as many pancakes as they want, and kids under 12 can have pancakes for $5, and that support will go towards the senior levy. And that's it.
Councilwoman Koski.
Halloween?
Yes, the Halloween party is going to be October 25th. It's a Tuesday night, and we were battling with some schedules, and that was the date that we were able to land on at the high school. So if anybody would like to help out, pass out candy, that'll be the last time at the high school. And it's for Wycliffe kids up through 4th grade is what we target.
25th, Tim?
25th, correct, from 6:30 to 8. Jungle Terry and DJ will be there for festivities.
Any further questions or comments for the Recreation Director? Thank you, Tim. Economic Development Manager Drake.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to let people know that Life Nutrition has a new owner and a new name, which will be Life Golden Nutrition. Bree Karachi, who is the new owner, is planning on holding a grand opening on Saturday, October 8th from 9 to 5 p.m. And so certainly encourage her to, or encourage supporting the new business. I have been sharing the commercial building grant information with various businesses. Currently, the city has received $46,500 in requests, with $3,500 still remaining, which I'm hopeful that one of the businesses will use towards new signs. Of these requests, 2 have been for signs for parking lots. With parking lot request, actually the business owners have invested in other areas of their business. For instance, new signage has a couple of the businesses have new signage going on their businesses and along the road, and also another has trimmed up and cleaned up, and not only has the parking lot added to the aesthetics of the building, but all around, and that's been nice, and Ray and I work on that together. And a third improvement is not only did they do are they doing a parking lot, but they're also did an addition so that they can add businesses to the community, employees to the community, and they did an addition on their building to expand their business. So that's another aspect that's happening with it. So even though it looks like it's one thing, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. So we're excited about that. I've had 3 businesses that I mentioned that though they're not ready to complete a project this year, they are considering them for next year, and 2 of these type of projects are facade projects. I had a conference call with Youth Opportunities Unlimited. They're an organization that helps connect workforce with jobs, and throughout the community, and meeting with businesses, workforce, and looking for employees has been a very common theme. And so being proactive and looking to find people and connect people with businesses, connecting with like someone like YOU and other organizations, and then I've been reaching out to the businesses and helping facilitate them meeting and letting them know our Wycliffe businesses who are looking for looking for employees, and seeing who might be a right fit. So it just augments the work that Superintendent Specia does in the school system, and so creating win-wins throughout the city. We have been meeting with potential development and developers and looking at different ways of helping our city grow and supporting our city. So that work it's very early in the stages, but we'll continue working on that piece. Sandy Fink and I are assisting the chamber as we're reaching out to promote the event next Tuesday with Mayor Sakis and with the Chamber of Commerce, and letting our businesses know what's happening. The Provo House, as Ron mentioned, is slated to come down starting on the 10th. We verified that if anything is left in the Provo House, that the contractor will handle it. So Ron's very well aware of it and has been very proactive in helping ensure that whatever needs to come out, comes out. And if it's there on the 10th, it'll be part of the demolition and removal. So we're happy about that. And the last piece is the Tax Incentive Review Council. I submitted to all of council their recommendations, and I believe that is under new business this evening. So if anybody has any questions, I believe both recommendations on the two current commercial Texas community reinvestment area agreements is to continue those. So outside of that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments for the Economic Development Manager? Councilwoman Sloto.
So I wanted to ask about, actually our readout from our economic development study.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, now that we have it, I think we need to move to the next step. So I wanted to see if we can actually call a committee meeting to bring everybody together and look over that and decide what we're gonna do with it, or if we wanna bring it, to a broader audience or whatever. So I'd like to ask for an economic development meeting
Oh,
for,
okay. For the MS Consulting updates, is that what you're referring to?
yeah.
Okay, so when do you want to call for that? You want it next Monday, or?
Yeah.
So October 3rd at 7 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay. Economic Development, Euclid Avenue Redevelopment Committee meeting at 7 p.m. on October 3rd to discuss the MS Consulting updates. Anything else? Any other questions or comments for the Economic Development Manager? Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
I will now open the floor for audience participation. If anyone would like to address the City Council, please stand, state your name and address for the clerk's record. The Council Clerk has a microphone at her desk for you to use. Would anyone like to address Wycliffe City Council? Yeah.
Do I need to use it?
Yeah,
Yes,
please, and please state your name and address.
Okay, my name is Cindy Valerio. My address is 225 East 266th Street, Euclid, Ohio, 44132. I'm here as a representative of Community Cat Companions. We are the animal welfare organization approved by your city to manage your trap, neuter, return program. Now, all of you do have a folder in front of you. Basically, what you're going to see on the right-hand side of the folder is, in the red, is your actual ordinance, which is the exception to the ordinance, actually, which basically requires your residents to register with the animal welfare organization that is approved by the city, which is us, through the Trap, Neuter, Return program, in which feral stray cats are trapped, sterilized, vaccinated against rabies, ear-tipped, and thereafter released to a qualified caregiver sponsored by and under the supervision of a registered animal welfare organization, again, which is us. And basically what is on that sheet is just kind of an overview of what is in that folder. I want to start because I'm kind of backwards, because Lauren is going to have to leave, and she is the one who's responsible for our reporting. If you look on the left-hand side, you'll see the Animal Welfare Organization registration form. This is our form with the city. It basically outlines in detail the responsibilities that we have with respect to reporting. We do or will report to the city on a quarterly basis any updates or changes to the number of colonies, the number of cats or whatever in the colony, but you will also have access to a spreadsheet, the link to a spreadsheet where you can look and see at any given time the status of what is happening. Now, there is included in that packets loose. On one side is the Wickliffe colony or city colony report, which is what you would see if you were to go to that link. to the spreadsheet, and on the other side is, these are sample, by the way, is what a quarterly report would look like, or will look like. This gives you an idea of, you know, how many colonies there are, how many cats are involved, the status of them, etc. Like I said, at the bottom of here, I don't know if you want to go over it now, is in detail of what information is contained in these reports. What we would do on a quarterly basis with the registered colonies, it is their contact information minus their name and address, because that is the purpose of registering with us rather than the city. Any changes will be reported to the city. It contains information with respect to the date of surgery, their vaccinations, parasite control, pregnancies, any medical issues or treatments. This basically will also give us an idea over time, any areas, targeted areas, places like trailer parks and things like that, or would be a targeted area where you would see a lot of animals. And we've been contacted by trailer park here in the city already. Do any of you, because Lauren does need to leave, she has a prior commitment, have any questions about the reporting portion? Well, this is Lauren Kelly, by the way. Do you want her name and address?
Yes.
Sure, yes, please. If she's gonna speak, yes.
My name is Lauren Kelly, 9091 Ambleside, Menor, Ohio.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
I know this is a ridiculously stupid question, but I'm gonna ask. Okay, so what constitutes a colony? Like, when do you decide that it's a colony? Do you just,
Any cat that somebody is feeding that is stray or feral that is outside, basically. So any one
So-
or more.
okay, so adding colonies, for instance, I live on Rockefeller Road, we have a lot of cats flying around. So someone would have to step up and say, we are feeding this cat.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get to how
These
we're gonna
cats.
reach out to people
Okay.
after that.
Not
Yes,
feeding
basically, yeah, we don't go out knocking on people's doors
Okay.
asking them if they have cats. They would have to,
Call you and say, there's a lot of cats. Okay.
exactly.
All right,
That's
right.
how we start. Actually, that's more of a question for Wendy.
Okay, Wendy, I got a lot of cats.
This is Wendy. She actually is a Wickliffe resident, and she does a lot of trapping in the city, and she's also responsible for taking all the calls that come in through our TNR service line for all the cities, not all Lake and Ashtabula counties, so not just Wickliffe, but, so she could answer questions with regards to that process too. But,
Thank you.
okay, moving on the other side, underneath your TNR ordinance for Wycliffe side, these actually all say Eastlake on them because we don't have Wycliffe, sorry, small room. We don't have Wycliffe ones yet, but they look just like it. You've got three things. These are things that go specifically to caregivers. The first one is good news for, we'll say, Wycliffe caregivers, which basically explains how the ordinance works. More detailed than what the actual ordinance is. Yes, Sherry?
Okay, I just want to say that, like, you should probably state goal for the program, like, is to not have feral cats, like, to
Yes, that's always the ground.
to if there are kittens, to not have them stay there. If they're able to be adopted out, you have a spot in PetSmart where you adopt out cats that are able to be adopted out.
That is true. Let's get through what the caregivers get, and then, and talk about exactly what TNR is and the ultimate goal of it. So that explains the ordinance. The other thing that we have in there is what are called our colony caregiver commandments. These are guidelines for which the caregivers need to follow in order to be sponsored under us. This is basically guidelines for being a good neighbor so you don't tick off, for lack of a better word, your neighbors in general, because a lot of these things are complaint driven. That's how we find out about a lot of these things. So they have to, it's not just a matter of spaying and neutering and vaccinating them, they also have to follow some guidelines. The last thing is an actual registration form that they would fill out, that we would have, we would keep on file They would consider, and then we would follow up with them and keep track of things with them. So, yes, the goal of TNR is to reduce the number of stray and feral cats that you have. It is the most effective, it is the most humane way to do that. Basically, when you are spaying and neutering them, they are not reproducing, you're not having kittens. The average cat gives birth to a minimum of 2 litters a year. The average litter is 4. You do the math. They can start reproducing at 4 to 6 months. Now, a sad fact is that 75% of them won't survive till their first birthday, but it's still, a couple of cats can produce a lot of other cats in a short period of time. You spay and neuter them, they're not reproducing. You have a caregiver that is overseeing them. They have their eyes on them. They know if a new one shows up, they're supposed to let us know. We take care of it before it becomes a problem. Over time, through attrition, the numbers do go down. I know in our first update in the city of Menor, it went down in the first 2.5 years about 28%. So over time, it does. And I will tell you the number of calls that we get in the areas that we've already worked in is way lower. We've gotten a lot of calls in the last couple of years from Wickliffe. This is going to be our biggest targeted. I mean, we've been doing, we do this with other cities in Willowick and Eastlake, Menor on the Lake, Fairport Harbor. This has been going on now back to 2015. We don't get a lot of calls from those areas like we used to because, you know, we've been working there for such a long time. What we do too is a lot of people are probably not aware of the ordinance. What we would do is, number one, we have a list of caregivers that we've been working with since 2019. We will reach out to all of those, make them aware, send them the forms, get them set up. We will also put all of this on our website. We have a web page for each of the cities that we work with. So all of this information is on our website. I would appreciate it if you guys would put something on your website as well, at least referring people to us. We will, after we send this out, probably in January at the library, we will have a public forum. We will put press releases in the News Herald. They will usually send somebody out to cover it. We will do a quick TNR overview as to what it is, how it works, how to do it. Winter colony care, since it's in January. We will talk about the ordinance, explain it to people, assure them that we are not going to be giving their names and their addresses. It's not going to become a matter of public record. People are not going to be dumping cats at their door, knocking on their door, wondering what they're doing, et cetera, because people have those fears. We will work with them. We hope that we will have representatives from the city in attendance so that they can answer any questions that residents may have. If you have a newsletter for your city, I think you do. If you could put it in there as well. We want to get the word out, you know, through our social media, et cetera. And we will also register caregivers at these events. We've done it with every one that we've done, and usually they're well attended. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I missed. I think so. We want to get started on this right away because you've already had the ordinance for like a year, but you don't have a mechanism to, we've had some incidents this summer with people, and you know, it's like there was just nothing, there was no way for them to register, no way for them to do anything, so we really want to get going on this. Sherry?
Thank you for
Councilman
all the work that you've
Koski.
done already. Yeah, thank you for all the work that you've been doing already. I've watched Wendy in action and
Yeah, we've pulled a lot of kittens the last, right. So basically if you go into a colony and I don't know, however many how many like at that one?
Well, around the lake, I think it was 18 to 20.
We have a lot of them basically up and down Euclid Avenue. A lot of the businesses have a lot of cats too. But there was the one, how many, you took a bunch last year and this year, Barb's?
Oh, very good. Yeah, she's about on there, she doesn't have too much yet over there.
Right, but we took, you say you have, believe me, most colonies are not 20 cats. You want to get them before they're 20 cats, but even if you have a mom and a litter of 4 kittens show up, if you get those kittens young enough and you can get them out, now you're left with 1, so that's the goal.
Also, we want to say that the Wycliffe trailer park is not Wycliffe,
It's not?
it's Willowick.
Oh, I work with somebody who lives there that says it's in Wickliffe. It's not?
No,
I didn't know there were any in Warwick. Well,
no trailer park in Wycliffe.
okay.
Steal our name.
It's on the edge, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she doesn't know where she lives then, I guess.
No. All right, thank you.
Okay, well, we'll do that one anyway. Okay, is that, we're good?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Would anyone else like to address Wickliffe City Council? Would anyone else like to address Wickliffe City Council? If not, I'll mark audience participation closed. Committee reports. I'd like to move, we have deer calling currently in Legislation and Welfare Committee. I'd like to move that out of there and into the Committee of the Whole. See no other committee reports. Any commission reports? No old business. New business A, Tax Incentive Review Council recommendations. Ms. Drake.
Yes, so there are 2 commercial community investment area agreements. The first one being True Line, and the recommendation from the Tax Incentive Review Council is to continue as is. And then the second one is with EMI Corporation, and the Tax Incentive Review Council also made the recommendation to continue with the agreement.
Deb, is our, the agreement, we used to have agreements with Parker Hannafin and with Parks Pro. Have those been finalized, or we still have agreements with them as well? Are you sure, do you know? Offhand? Anyone, I guess, on the administration?
Parker Hannafin is it's an income, correct, Debbie?
It is, but it was, the final year was, the payment was.
That one's finished, but I thought we had an agreement with Parks Pro as well.
I don't know.
They've been,
I do not know of any with Parts Pro. Parts Pro was not under this, nor is it identified by the state of Ohio. If there was anything, it was previous to my time, and anything that I've reviewed from the state of Ohio has not identified Parts Pro.
All right. I'm pretty sure we voted on that, correct, Jerry?
Yeah.
Jerry, do you remember that one, or am I making it up?
No.
I'm pretty sure we did. vote on
I
Parks
saw they got the building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm curious, we gotta check on that. Councilman Garrett's.
a comment on Parts Pro, if it matters, they have been bought by a bigger company out of Wisconsin, I believe, or Michigan. A company called Auto Wares has bought them out, so I don't know if that changes their, if that changes that at all.
Might have.
So a tax incentive agreement goes with the property and not with the owner of the property, though, based on everything I know from the state of Ohio, it has not identified Parts Pro as being active community investment area. So whether they had one in the past, and actually where Parts Pro is located, they would not be under a CRA, because up until 2018, the only place in the entire city that had a community reinvestment area was on Euclid Avenue. And if Parts Pro had one, that would have been covered under an enterprise zone, and therefore that would be covered by a Lake County, and maybe that's why I'm not aware of it, and that's why you remember it. So that, because of where it's located, it would be an enterprise zone.
That I agree. I mean, it's more of, it was a tip, not more of a CRA at this point in time, so that's probably what it was.
Okay, and I have not seen anything identifying them.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you guys want to touch on this recommendation? Anything else? Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council.
Second.
Moved by Council President Levon, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto, to approve the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council. Discussion? Cindy, please call the roll.
Cal,
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Jaworski. Oops, sorry. Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloda.
Yes.
Okay, new business B, bid presentation acceptance for Ginger Park, contracts A and B. Any further discussion on Pete? Or
Not really, it's pretty straightforward, and Ron covered it pretty well, but contract A is for the construction of the path, and we opened bids last Thursday for that. Mingle Construction was the only bidder at $124,140, compared to the engineer's estimate of $150,000. Reviewed their bid information in their current. Contract B, if you want to do individual or both, contract B was the supply of the concrete for this project through JAP Supply, which, as Ron said, we have a fantastic price on it. Almost a donation, call it that. And the bid amount was $46,200.
Does anybody in council have any questions or comments on this? Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the Ginger Park replacement contract A, to approve the bid of $124,140 from Mingle Management Services of 1363 East 286th Street, Wycliffe, Ohio, 44092, as the best bid.
Second.
Moved by Council President Levon, second by Councilman Garrett Stein to approve the bid of the Ginger Park Path Replacement Contract A, bid by Mingo Management Services of $124,140. Mingo Management Services address is 1363 East 286th Street, Ohio, 44092. That's the best bid. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloda.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid of Ginger Park Path Replacement Contract B of $46,200 for a JAB Supply of 30155 Euclid Avenue, Wycliffe, Ohio, 44092, as the best bid.
Second.
Moved by Council President Levon, second by Councilwoman Saloto, to approve the bid of Ginger Park Path Replacement Contract B of JAB Supply at a price of $46,200. JAB Supply's address is 30155 Euclid Avenue, Wycliffe, Ohio, 44092, as the best bid. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloda.
Yes.
Ordinances.
Ordinance number 2022-32, an ordinance amending section 1175.06, vacant building fees of chapter 1175, titled Vacant Property/Building Registration, the codified ordinances of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio, third reading.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman Soto, to adopt ordinance 2022-32 as presented. Discussion? Councilman Gerhardstein.
Ray, when will this ordinance, with the building fees, when will this be starting to be enforced?
30 days after you pass it.
So the cap is coming off for the ones beginning of next year, correct? That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the ordinance, on the amendment, or on the adoption? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloda.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-44, an ordinance providing appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Wycliffe, Ohio, for the period beginning January 1st, 2022, and ending December 31st, 2022.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman Soto, to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2022-44 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Ballard.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloda.
Yes.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerhardstein, seconded by Councilman
No.
Bala,
Yeah.
to adopt ordinance 2022-44 as presented. Discussion? This is the one we want to vote down. So no. Or, yes.
Not that you're telling us how to vote.
Well, if we already agreed to these
Yes.
contracts,
Yes.
bids,
Yes.
Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
No.
Gerhardstein.
No.
Kowski.
No.
Levon.
No.
Soloto.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, ordinance number 2022-47, an ordinance establishing chapter 1328, keeping/raising small livestock, and these regulations of the codified ordinances of the city of Wycliffe, Ohio. Second reading. Ordinance number 2022-48, an ordinance enacting a 2022 modified chapter 1116 of the codified ordinances of the city of Wycliffe entitled Erosion and Sediment Control. Second reading. Ordinance number 2022-49, an ordinance enacting a 2022 modified chapter 1117 of the codified ordinances of the city of Wycliffe entitled Comprehensive Storm Water Management. Second reading. Ordinance number 2022-50, an ordinance enacting a 2022 modified chapter 1118 of the codified ordinances of the city of Wycliffe entitled Illicit Discharge and Illegal Connection Control. Second reading. Ordinance number 2022-52, an ordinance providing appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Wycliffe, Ohio for the period beginning January 1st, 2022 and ending December 31st, 2022, and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gertstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2022-52 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gertstein, seconded by Councilman Ballard to adopt ordinance 2022-52 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-53, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio to enter into a contract with Mingle Management Services for the Jindra Park Path Replacement Contract A Path Replacement and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Saloto, seconded by Councilman Gertstein to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2022-53 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gertstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to adopt ordinance 2022-53 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2022-54, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Wickliffe, Ohio to enter into a contract with Jab Supply Corp. For the Jindra Park Path Replacement Contract B, concrete supply, and declaring an emergency.
Suspension.
Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Kowski, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 2022-54 on third and final reading. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Adoption.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gertstein, seconded by Councilwoman Saloto to adopt ordinance 2022-54 as presented. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Resolutions?
Resolution number 2022-17, a resolution requesting the Lake County, Ohio Auditor to make advance payments of taxes, first reading.
Other legislation? Miscellaneous? I entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gertstein, seconded by Councilman Ballard to adjourn the meeting. Discussion? Sandy, please call the roll.
Saleh.
Yes.
Gerhardstein.
Yes.
Kowski.
Yes.
Levon.
Yes.
Soloto.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Seriously.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.